Hail, hail, Rabonia, a land I didn't make up. I'm not the biggest fan of this episode, but that little jam right there is stuck in my head. Hello, you beautiful people. I asked you in a recent poll what I should react to next, and this episode of Futurama won the poll. If you don't want to miss a future poll, make sure to subscribe. I love Futurama, but I've never really liked this episode, but let's get into it. If you like the shirt I'm wearing, make sure to get this video to 1,000 likes. If this video gets 1,000 likes, I might start selling them.
My dreams of glory died before they began.
Welcome to my life.
I feel like every Gen Zer and Millennial can relate to Zoidberg in that moment.
I couldn't win a medal either, even at bending, the thing I was built to do. I'm so embarrassed. I wish everybody else was dead.
Up next, the Fembot bending competition.
Yep.
Fembots?
Okay, this is where I have some of the big problems with the episode. Is this episode transphobic? Yes, we'll get into that. But this right here does not make sense from a lore and storytelling perspective. I mean, the bending robots are built by Mom, right? So why would she create gendered benders? Think about it. Why is there need to be a distinction there? And even if there was a reason for it, why would the female benders be that weak? I mean, bending hangers, humans can do that. So why is it that they would be needed? It just doesn't make sense. It would be one thing if they set it up like a joke, but to me this doesn't really seem like a joke. I mean, Futurama, they tend to have some very clever jokes, and this just isn't one of them. Also, there's a very clear analogy here of bending athletics versus human athletics. Yes, things aren't going to be one-to-one, but we should treat them as such here because the writers are trying to say something, and we need to think about what are they trying to say and the message imposed in this episode. You gotta think like how they wrote it. Why did they do it this way? That's an important discussion to have. But since we have this parallel already between the athletes who are benders and those are humans, are they trying to say that female athletes are not as good as male athletes? Because that's kind of sexist. Yes, there is an average of strength based there. On average, men are stronger, but that doesn't necessarily mean it reflects all men and all women. It's a bell curve, and there's a lot of overlap in terms of strength. Just because the average man is stronger than the average woman does not mean that a woman is going to be weaker than a man, and certainly not to this degree.
Methinks a clever man-bot, suitably disguised, might win those events. But the charade would require subtlety, nuance, grace. What do you mean I'm not registered? My name is Coilette, and I'm from, Rabonia. Coilette's a chick's name.
Yes, but Rabonia sounds like something somebody made up on the
Yes.
spot.
Ever been beaten up by a guy dressed like a chick?
Yeah.
Okay, so now they're going into the route of trans people are violent. Bender himself is violent, I know that. But there is the inherent link here between trans people being violent, which isn't true. Trans people are more likely to be victims of violence than perpetrators. And the argument they're trying to make here is that men can just dress up as women and compete in women's activity. That's not realistic at all. And as they'll show later in the episode, there are obstacles to that, which I will get into. But I think a lot of transphobic men in particular think they can do a lot better than cis women in athletics, even if they are themselves are not athletic. These women are the best of the best in terms of athletics, so it's unrealistic to assume that the average man could take them on.
And it's straight. Coilette wins. Another gold medal for the spunky maid from Rabonia.
Yep. There's the idea that you can succeed in all these events. And also, I don't know much about sports or the Olympics, but do people often compete in multiple games, or is it just one? I'm not sure.
A perfect bend and a flawless entry. No splash at all. Perfect scores. A record 5 gold medals for Coilette.
I feel like that's sexist in some way.
I'm great. Everybody else sucks, except that guy Bender. He's really something. Woo!
All medalists report for gender testing.
You can't test for gender. Yes, there are those online BuzzFeed-style quizzes, but they're not really what would go on at these events. They would be testing your sex, not your gender. Sex is about biology, gender is about who you are and your place in society.
You actually thought they'd let you walk away without an engine oil sex check?
Oh, God.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna get my medals. They're all I have to remember my Olympic career.
Of 12 minutes.
Wait, I've got it. Professor, make a woman out of me.
Oh, I think we should just stay friends.
I don't need friends. I need a sex change operation, and give it to me now.
Okay, you can't get an operation like that right away, and there's so much more to transitioning, especially medical transitioning, than just getting a surgery. I know, I'm transitioning medically. Transition medically can include a whole bunch of different things, not just surgery, hormone medication, therapy. There's so much out there, and even when you look at surgeries, there is not just one surgery. There are countless surgeries out there.
Bender, a robot sex change is a complex and dangerous procedure. Replacing your testosterone with fembot lubricants can cause wild mood swings, and the effects may be irreversible.
Okay, continuing with this analogy here that they have set forth, they are trying to say that getting this surgery changes your hormone level. But that really isn't true. Yes, if you're getting a surgery like an orchidectomy, you may not need to have testosterone blockers anymore, but really this isn't going to change your overall hormone structure. Trans people take hormones for years before they get surgeries, if they ever do. Not to mention, I think the idea of wild mood swings, as trans people were often warned about, is often very overblown. They're not really that case. In fact, for many of us, the added stability of feeling more like ourselves actually makes it so that we feel more stable in our emotions. So, it's unfair to make a blanket statement like that.
Well, let's get started.
No, you can't!
If you have even the slightest respect for the dignity of women...
I'm sorry, ladies, but I must do this. Not for you, not for Bender, but for the proud people of Robonia.
I'm really disappointed in Amy and Leela here. I mean, they're pretty much acting like TERFs. What does someone transitioning actually have to do with you? That doesn't take away anything from your lived experience, and that doesn't change who you are. Remember, there is no one experience of men, no one experience of women, and no one experience of non-binary people. We're all on this big journey together. Yes, there are similarities in our journeys, but it's important to put that in perspective. No person has the same journey. And if you make a statement like trans people are insulting to women, well, that just shows you don't like trans people and don't respect us as who we are. Because remember, we're not taking anything away from you. If you look at the show King of the Hill, Peggy is a cis woman, but she has trouble finding shoes that properly fit her because her feet are so big. This is an example of how trans women actually can help make cis women's lives easier. Because think about it. Due to trans women and drag queens, women's shoes in larger sizes are now becoming more accessible. This is a good thing for everybody.
Come on.
I can't watch this because it's creepy and wrong and sick. However, I will watch out of curiosity.
Quiet!
Okay, Fry has some morbid curiosity, and I'm gonna say it's not great, but it's understandable. Also, the idea that you could just do a surgery like this in a tent, it's a very intensive surgery with a lot of moving parts, and seems unrealistic, especially if you need a recovery time. Yes, I know Bender is a robot, and things are different, but in the real world, this wouldn't be how it works.
I'm about to begin the process of reshaping Bender's body into a tender, delicate form.
Again, a lot of the changes that come along with hormones shape the body, like fat redistribution. And in the case of trans femmes like myself, we get breast development. These are real. And these aren't the result of surgery. It's because of the medication I take.
Ow! 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 Oh! Hey!
Again, in the real world, a surgery like this would not be that aggressive.
Draining male oil. using female oil.
Okay, so continuing the analogy further, this is also not how hormone replacement therapy would work. Hormone replacement therapy is done as a medication over a long period of time, usually lifelong. And that means taking pills or injections that can repress a certain hormone and increase the amount of another. That's how hormones typically work. It isn't this instantaneous, like we're gonna drain your blood out or anything like that. That's not how it works.
Removing item.
Okay, this is how it would work for Bender, but in the real world, it's a common misconception that vaginoplasty, the surgery that turns a penis into a vagina, involves cutting off the penis. That's not how this works. What actually happens is that the penis is inverted and turned into a vagina. Remember, the vagina is the inside part, not the outside part.
We can't wait for Coilette any longer, damn it!
I'm ready for my test now, boys.
Yes, trans people were gorgeous, but I feel like transphobes like try to take it into a different direction where they say we're ugly. No, we're not. I literally got catcalled yesterday. Many of us are quite stunning. Hail, hail, Rabonia, a land I didn't make up. I'm not the biggest fan of this episode, but that little jam right there is stuck in my head.
Ooh, yeah. Ooh, goodness. Oh, yeah, baby. Come on. Work your cans. Shake it out.
I don't know which I'm more, enraged or disgusted.
I'm just out there making us ladies look good.
Nuh-uh. You're making us look like jerks in front of the other genders.
Other genders, you say? Yes, there are more than two genders.
But you're not really a lady anyway, right?
Of course not.
Dear Lord, a coaster.
Ah, yes, because women notoriously use coasters. Is that what a woman is? Someone should tell Matt Walsh.
The Femsoil must be sashaying girlishly into your processor.
Then change me back. My breasts are keeping me awake at night anyway.
Lots of women get breast reduction surgery if breasts are keeping them up at night. That's actually a common medical issue, which is actually gender affirming. So when you go after gender affirming care, you're also going after gender affirming care for cis people. Also, it's weird that Farnsworth is using queer slang in this transphobic conversation.
Hello? What? A guest spot on Late Night with HumorBot 5.0? I'd love to. My own limo? No, I don't have my own limo. You better send one.
Again, Futurama can do really good jokes, but this is just one of those really bad episodes. Yeah, TV shows have bad episodes. Get over it.
I need a rain check on that mad swap, Professor. I'm going on TV. Come on, Fry, help me pick out a pantsuit.
I don't understand why women may want to go shopping with men. Sure, if you're both looking for something, whatever. Or if the guy's actually interested in it, whatever. But this idea of women dragging men begrudgingly into stores, that just doesn't make much sense to me. Frankly, when I go shopping, I prefer to shop with women anyway.
So, Calculon, do you want to set up this clip from all my circuits?
No, I think it's self-explanatory. Funny story. The script called for me to say yes, but I gave it a little twist.
Some people think I do fair use like that. MGM.
Please put your hands together for my next guest, winner of 5 Olympic medals, Coilette from Robonia.
Okay, nothing bad there so far. Also, that's not a pantsuit, because a pantsuit requires pants.
So, Coilette, many young fembots wish to emulate you. Any advice for them?
Yes, HumorBot. If you ask me, women today are too stuck up to go out and jiggle their jello like everybody wants them to. In fact, should I do it now?
Women, and frankly everyone, should feel free to embrace their sexuality. That's not my problem here. In fact, if you want to see me jiggle my stuff around, sign up for Patreon, because YouTube won't allow me to do that. Just kidding, I'm not actually doing that on Patreon, unless you pay for it. Patrons get to see extended and uncensored cuts of videos just like this. Thank you to my patrons, YouTube channel members, and TikTok subscribers. Without you, this video couldn't have been possible.
Then. Woo! Look out, baby. Good, work it out. Oh, shake that thing. You gotta use it, lady. Shake it up a little. That's right. Come on, work it out.
Yeah, I don't know if that's appropriate for television.
Madam, I am one impressed celebrity.
Oh, I bet you say that to all the 5 Olympic gold medal winning fembots.
From this day forth, I shall do so whenever possible.
Golly. What?
Coilette, this may be presumptuous,
That's my favorite kind of this.
but I would be honored if you would join me for dinner sometime.
Calculon, you'd be fulfilling this naive Robonian farm girl's fantasy.
Of course I would.
I love how it's just not even a thing for Calculon. See, the characters are so well written here. It's just a shame they have to use the characters in such a way.
This top makes me look fat. Is it trampy to go on a first date nude?
Probably.
Yes?
Perfect.
You do you. Just follow the laws.
You've got to tell me, you're not actually attracted to Calculon, right? And if you are, don't tell me. Are you?
Certainly not. But just once I'd like to eat dinner with a celebrity who isn't bound and gagged. Is that so much to ask?
Kinda.
Well, I think you dating a man-bot is a disgrace, and I refuse to be involved.
You don't take ownership of people liking men. Does she seriously have this attitude towards gay men?
And you have way too much lipstick on.
Are you kidding? I need more lipstick. Much more. Ooh, yeah, that's the stuff. Men love it when you really glob it on.
No, they don't.
Hey!
Ah, please.
What?
Every man wants a
You know, whenever I really put on the makeup, I get a lot of comments. It's usually a mix of death threats and people coming on to me, which may not sound great, but you realize the more you engage with this video, the more money I make, so comment down below what you think of this episode.
Men are so much better at being women.
A lot of the drag queens I know have said something like this to the extent, and I think it's hysterical.
But what if he wants to, I mean, if he tries to, Barry White?
Oh, that's a very colorful euphemism, Fry.
I'll just tell him I need a commitment first. That'll stick a potato in his tailpipe.
Good Lord, man, what kind of temporary woman are you?
Look, why don't all of you just back off? Can't a girl enjoy herself without being judged?
Honestly, I think I'm on Bender's side here because they're acting pretty gross.
Oh dear, her mood swings are getting wilder. She's becoming a slave to her emotions, just like all women, particularly you, Leela.
I mean, that's probably the best joke of the episode. Oh no.
Hey, ma'am, you sure can put her away. You saved me a trip to the dump. Bam!
Okay, this is really gross, and you might not understand where I'm coming from with this, but ideas about gender and eating can often go hand in hand, and the idea of women eating a lot or being gluttonous like this really just pushes eating disorders in a really unhealthy way. And as someone with an eating disorder, I know this all too well.
I'd appreciate it if you didn't bam the young lady.
Well, I'd appreciate it if I did, so I guess we're even.
You
Ew.
know, Coilette, I've never before met a woman as fascinating as I am. You're such a sweet, soft fembot, yet you have this free spirit about you. And there it is.
They're trying to go for this sort of like, you're not like other women. Yeah, sure, we're not like other women, but it's very misogynistic and transphobic to do it in this way because you're denying trans people's existence as their true gender. Now, Bender is not trans, that's abundantly clear, but they are drawing an analogy here. And when you analyze media like this, you have to go beyond the surface.
It's as if you understand the male mind better than I.
They're going for the same thing they did on the IT crowd, which I do hope to make a video about at some point. But the idea that trans women are more like men than other women is transphobic because we transitioned so that we were not seen as male. For me, I transitioned because I didn't understand men and felt weird being put in the same category as them. That's why I transitioned.
I've never met anyone like you.
Oh, yes, you have.
I'm pretty sure they've met before. I think that's what they're going for.
Coilette, I'd like to spend some quality time with you.
What? Whoa, no way. Not gonna happen. What kind of girl do you think I am?
Have I mentioned that I own the world's biggest and most elegant yacht?
People do things like that for money. And yes, I did have to switch the audio out because of copyright. But they are playing the song She's a Lady, which just throws contrast to it. Whatever.
Woo! I'm a trophy girlfriend.
No kidding. These gifts have been coming non-stop. I think Calculan's falling for you.
Wow. That's not good for the puppies. And yeah, this happens when you date rich people, I think.
Bah. Any day now he'll dump me for a new wad of arm candy. And then I can turn back into a guy and hawk all this stuff. It's just a game.
It's not really a game, especially of us who do transition because of dysphoria and real unhappiness in our lives. I know that was true for me. I'm not saying you can't make trans jokes, but you really should try to avoid making transphobic jokes. Also, given Bender's outfit, you could tell this was made in the early 2000s. It is a little bit dated in that regard.
Coilette, I can't
There's
stop
a door
thinking
right
about you.
there.
I can't sleep at night. Although as a robot, I don't do that anymore. But if I did, I couldn't because I love you so. Oh, my darling.
How the drama thickens.
You marry me?
Oh, Calculon. Yes, I will.
Maybe she's right about the lipstick.
Maybe there is something there. Should I be wearing more lipstick? Let me know in the comments. Wait, bad idea to ask that.
A brother and then a sister to me. And now you're getting married. I love you, man.
The marriage is a scam.
Cool. What's for dinner?
Surprisingly, Fry is the biggest ally in this whole episode. Although, he always had the biggest heart, I think.
What do you mean, a scam?
I marry Calculon, divorce him, take half his money, and turn back into a guy. It's sort of a two-person pyramid scheme.
It's marriage, all right.
I don't know, I've never been married.
Come on. You never went on a date with a guy just because you were hungry?
Well, I thought I might like him on a full stomach.
Nice try, sister.
Sometimes money's tight and we just need a good meal.
I just don't think I could go through with this scam.
So now you do want to marry him?
No, I just don't want to hurt him or humiliate him. Oh, curse this woman's heart.
Is this the first time Bender's had empathy?
Yeah. You're falling into the final debilitating stages of womanhood. You've waited too long to switch back, you dingbat.
What are the final debilitating stages of womanhood? That's a myth. You can transition at any time you want. No one can tell you otherwise.
Now, there's no way to stop this marriage without hurting Calculon. But he's an actor. If there's one kind of pain he can handle, it's soap opera pain.
I love the banner at the wedding. Celebrity wedding. Ordinary people not welcome.
Okay, is everyone ready?
Yep.
Basically.
Dearly beloved actors and casting people who might be looking for someone to play a preacher, I welcome you.
That's Futurama. Classic selfish characters.
The bride has written some vows that we will now all pretend to be interested in.
Wow, the casual sexism. See, they can make good jokes, but for most of this episode, they just aren't getting it, I think.
Is there a doctor
I
in the...
came as soon as I could. It appears to be a case of African hydraulic fever.
Dear God, the very illness my TV character caught in season 2 when I was holding out for more money. It's often fatal.
Ah, classic Futurama. Always satirizing people. But I mean, in this example, there is an element of truth, and it's very individualized to that character. This one, not so much, because really all the characters seem out of place. Except for maybe Fry and Zoidberg.
Whatever happens, remember, the flame of my eternal love will burn forever.
Of course. But Smoochy Pops, I thought one could only catch hydraulic fever deep in the diamond mines of the Congo.
Coilette, you she-devil! You really thought you could steal those diamonds from me and Congo Jack?
Those gems belong to the natives.
Classic soap opera drama.
Oh, how cruel and melodramatic fate is. Why?
Why? Such great drama.
Calculon, my darling, your loud why brought me partway back to life. Congo Jack!
Another shocking twist.
Yes, and I have a message for you from Colonel Matumbe. He says, this is from Congo Jack.
No. No! And oh!
I won't leave you. Not until I'm sure you understand the thing I said before about my eternal love for you burning, etc.
I do. I do.
Okay, then.
Love that. Just sort of very clever there.
I'm a doctor. She's dead.
Your death fills me with sorrow, anger, fear. Every emotion an actor can display.
Turn off that crap-o-rama. One mistake now and Ben
Crap-o-rama.
forever between the already ill-defined robot sexes.
Much like the robot sexes, human sexes are actually ill-defined.
Ow! Ooh! Ow! Ooh!
Well, Bender, I hope this has taught you a lesson about changing your sex to win 5 gold medals.
It truly has. My romance with Calculon has shown me a lot about myself.
Almost done.
If only somehow, some way, he and I could drive to Vegas, pick up some floozy bots, and void their warranties all night long. Woo!
Yay! My buddy's home, and his respect for women is back to normal.
So they're acknowledging it, and it's also interesting that the antenna just popped right out like it was already there. So, what did I think of this episode? I think it's transphobic, but not in the way most people think of it as transphobic. I think it's transphobic because of how characters are acting, and they're acting out of place here. Because, I mean, Leela and Amy of all people, really, why are you acting this way? It doesn't make much sense. If I were tasked with rewriting this episode, I would try to make Leela and Amy a little bit more on the lines of, look, there are real people who struggle with gender issues, so therefore, you should be more understanding. Make it about that. Don't make it about you're upsetting us as women because you're impersonating us as a woman. That's just transphobic and really out of character for the two of them. Anyway, if you enjoyed this video and want to see another one like it, make sure to see the video on screen. Thanks so much. Goodbye.